In this lesson, we're going to talk about the project manager, who the project manager is, and what are the different kinds of activities project managers are involved in. But before we move into the role of project manager, it's very important for us to establish the difference between project management programs and portfolio management. The first concept we need to talk about is program management. What is program management? Well, a program consists of multiple related projects which together achieve a common goal in support of the strategic aims of a business or organization or a country. The classic definition of project management is that it's a method of managing the related groups of a project. And you know, when you talk about program management, then basically a program could be something like the polio eradication program. Now, within the polio eradication program, there would be several projects. For example, there might be a vaccination project, there might be education projects, and there might be training projects. And all of those are contributing towards the overall purpose of eradication of polio. And that's why you would describe program management as a group of projects that are working towards a common objective. You also need to realize the duration for a program might not be fixed, unlike a project which has a fixed beginning and a fixed end. A program might go over several decades and the finish line might not be fixed. So that's another difference between a project and a program. It's also important to introduce a third concept called portfolio. Now, a portfolio differs from a program because in a program you will have projects that contribute towards a common objective. In a portfolio, it is a group of projects that are managed by a single entity or an individual. They might not have anything in common. They might not be contributing towards a common objective. They might have different objectives. And portfolio management is instituted in most cases in project management organizations to achieve some level of workload balancing between the different project managers. So this is a good point to look at the responsibilities of a project manager. That's the implicit responsibilities of a project manager. Well, one of the biggest responsibilities of the project manager is managing the interfaces. Now remember, the project will involve multidisciplinary teams, and it's important for the project manager to manage the interfaces between these individuals or groups of individuals from different departments or skill sets. You'll also be responsible for managing the interface with the customer and management of different interfaces within your organization at different levels. The project manager is responsible for ensuring the seamless flow of information that has to happen between all the stakeholders and all the individuals or the group of individuals that are involved, and also facilitate effective material interfaces or inventory control between the groups of individuals or different individuals involved. It's important to understand what specific skills are needed by a project manager. The first one is, of course, to build the team. When the project starts, there are individuals coming from all sorts of disciplines and backgrounds, and it's up to the project manager to establish the team, get this collaboration going and get it started. During the project, the manager has to provide leadership and vision to the whole team. It's inevitable that here would be conflicts throughout the project, and individuals from different backgrounds might have different ways of thinking, and it's up to the project manager to resolve those conflicts. They might have to manage the technical expertise. They will have to look at the planning function. They might also have to work at the organization and look at the organizational structure or the information flow. A project manager has to have some sort of entrepreneurship. They have to start something from scratch, get the resources, and make it work. Administration of resources, responsibilities, and other admin functions which are important are within the domain of the project manager, and this is an important project management skill. Getting management support and creating an effective communication channel with the top management is another important aspect. And in the end, effective and efficient resource allocation and utilization are part of project management's key functions and important skills. Before we end this part, I think it's important to understand the three major terminologies: planning, monitoring, and control, which are the key responsibilities of a project manager. A planning function is basically a process scheme program of identifying the means and resource actions beforehand that are necessary for the accomplishment of the desired objectives of the project. Monitoring function basically looks at observing, recording, analysing and reporting the quality of the project performance as it's being done. Controlling is basically the process of developing matrix targets so that those matrix could be tracked and we can look at how we're doing with the planned levels of performance. If we're not doing well, what are the appropriate actions or corrective actions that we can take to stick to our plans?